Hi everybody, Locals Kevin here. This is my current TCG deck list for Sky Striker as of June 2024. I'll walk you through my decisions of what I'm playing in this deck and this current build at the moment, and I'll go over my Locals report, which we'll see when I explain it, right? But here is the deck list of what I will be playing right now in TCG land. Of course, before we start, please leave a like, comments up, all that fun stuff. For more Striker related content, there's more stuff on Master Duel, new support, so please look forward to that. First, the big video still coming, don't worry. Let's get on to deck profile right now. Alright, so we know the deal. Here are the monsters, right? 3 Ray. We always play 3 Ray. No Ray, no play. That's always say I'm not a rapper. There we go. I'll explain later in my Locals report why that is so important. Because I literally lost the game because I did not see Ray. You'll see that. Of course, one Rosie O'Donnell. Fairly standard, right? Nothing crazy. You don't really need to play more than one of her. Some people play 3. I've seen that. That's crazy. So that's it for the main deck, Sky Striker monsters. Then handies, right? I played 3 Ash. Right? Ash, Universal Hand Trap. Maxi of TCG Land. There you go. Everybody plays 3 of her. Double Ghost Spell. Right? Came in clutch. Kinda. You'll see. Against Call by the Grave, because I got called by like 4 times during my Locals. And then she always came up, so there you go. Also in theory would hit like Lab, right? With their traps and stuff so they can't reset. Yeah, great overall card. And then double Ghost Ogre is my other one. Play Ghost Ogre for the Fire Kings, and then deciding if I need to pop anything. It came up during my Locals like once when the opponent, who was a Brandon Despia player, tried to Guardian Chimera me, and that was my only out. So there you go. So that's it for monsters. Let's move on from that as I put them over here on the side. Here's spell lineup. 3 in Gog. Came back to 3. Yes, please. Pot agreed, but better. No, I'm just kidding. But obviously, without this card, this deck would probably be like, I don't know, what's a mediocre deck nowadays? Let me know down below in the comments what's a mediocre deck nowadays. It used to be good. Besides Sky Striker. I always play 3 of that, right? 3 Widow. Besides Engage, probably the best card in the game. Besides Engage, probably the best Sky Striker card in your deck, because Widow Anchor to me in Yu-Gi-Oh is like one of the guaranteed negates, right? Or guaranteed interaction. Your opponent has to answer this, or you just steal and take their monster and negate their effects. Or yeah, because who's gonna play Crossout against Widow, right? It's gonna guarantee to go through. Your opponent has to deal with this card, and it's so good, right? Because you can chain multiple, and then you can steal monsters, and that's exactly what I did against another player in Locals, which I'll explain later. There's that. Real Kage, right? Enables OTKs, makes you survive a little bit, which again I'll explain later in the Locals report. Managed to actually linkage OTK someone, so there you go. It's possible. It's totally possible. Double Afterburners. I was originally testing one, but the second one kept coming up, especially since Sky Striker is a lot stronger when you go second. Because of all overall board breaking cards and stuff like that, right? Sky Striker for the turn 1 isn't really as impressive as other combo decks, so why bother doing that, right? Everybody wants to go first anyways, and I lost every die roll, so it doesn't matter. So there you go, double Afterburners. Here are the one-ofs. I play 1 multiple role. I know some people play 2. To me, I'm not a big fan of this card because it's too slow in this kind of format, where it's not exactly a starter card. It's just a card for your opponent to answer, and basically for you to bait out things, which happen because when I activate multi-roll, immediately the other opponent, who I think maybe didn't really know what Sky Striker did but knew of this card, immediately like popped this card. I'm like, alright, cool, it's great. Use your monster effect. I can search stuff with some other cards. But overall, I don't know, whatever. Alright, you play one of this to me because you have to. Because you get in some situations where, like, for example, you grind it out, then it becomes useful, but in terms of like your turn 2, like setting up your boards, you want to try to break them, then hopefully set up your multi-roll, but it's alright. 1 Shark Cannon, right? Banish stuff. Banish, I guess, Snake Eyes, right? You have to do some stuff with that. There you go. It came up a couple times. 1 Horny Grounds, right? Starter card. And then the board breaker cards, right? So 3 Anklet. Anklet was great when it came up. Remember that it has attack, not defense, right? Some people I mean, I guess you could be a goober, like an asshole, and say like, oh, because I think my opponent asked me like, oh, my attack and defense are halved, right? I'm like, no, it's just attack. It could have just been an asshole. It's like, yeah, totally half. You know, matters. But that matters. Remember that. And then the reason why it's so good going second is just you activate your cards, right? And a bunch of them, chain this, and then get your value out of the droplet because you're gonna use the cards anyways. There you go. Double cyclone. This is okay. All of my opponents did play back row, and they did come up when in terms of forcing out cards, right? Like when I was playing against Branded, it definitely did force out their whatever Branded Retribution, whatever that card is, right? The negate. So that definitely did come up. In the future, will I still play Kawaii Cyclone? We'll see. Double thrust, right? Would I play a third? Probably, but for one game, I did actually draw both of them, and I actually did come into use. So there you go. Very good card. If you can't play this or can't afford it, then just play 3 Upstart. Basically the same thing. No, I'm just kidding. But thrust is very good. And here are the cards you search with the thrust, right? Desires. Double desires. I think 3 is probably too much. Every time I desires, it basically got into more broken cards. Like for example, one game I desires into an engage and a thrust, and that's pretty good. There you go. Change your heart never came up at all. I will probably take this out. I guess I needed 1 extra card, and I was like, oh, change your heart, sure, let's see what happens. You can search it off the thrust, right? Maybe it'll come up, I don't know. The 1 talent, very good card, right? Most of the time when I thrust people, either you search the Engag or this. For both occasions, it actually did come up, so I decided, let's see what happens, right? Test. So one time I searched for talents, and then talents eventually got into engage, right? Draw 2, engage. The other one, I searched for Engag. I had 3 spells. I drew the talent. There you go. So either one works, right? And then the one road is search array, right? There you go. And then finally 3 traps. We all know what they are, right? Imperm. Imperm column did come up. Imperm column did come up. So that's out of Ash. This is probably the most best generic hand trap overall. There you go. So that's the main deck. 40 cards, easy 40 cards, right? Will I make some changes? Absolutely. I'll go over it later. What I will take out in the locals report, right? So here's, standard extra deck, right? 3 red ray, 3 red ray, right? That's crazy. We got 3 red ray and 3 engaged, and like Skyjacker basically does nothing. It's crazy. 3 blue ray, right? Fairly standard. Double green ray, right? Send your stuff. Send engage. Send Rosie O'Donnell. Set up linkage, right? It's okay. 1 ulti kinda. And then Azalea and a Zeke, right? Azalea did come up. What happened was I was playing against heroes, and I managed to steal my opponent's big whatever extra hero thing, right? The hero monster that was a dark and had I had a rose because of extra monster zone shenanigans, and I managed to link it off from Zeke into this. So that was cool, right? Azalea did come up. I popped their Miracle Fusion. They had no recovery. Game GG easy. And then the 4 random ones, what I always mention, right? Dark. I managed to summon my hero opponent's Dark Law. That was fun. He had to deal with that. The Masquerena, never summoned her. But again, this could probably be SP Little Knight. But, money. We just mess around locals. We're not trying to be YCS champ, right? 1 Unicorn. So I guess the idea is you go to IP Masquerena, you Widow Anchor Steel, Nightmare Unicorn, or whatever, right? But you have to pitch. So it's probably better overall when the new Sky Striker Azalea Temperaments comes out. So then you don't have to do the pitch at least, right? And then instant steal, like their starter card monster, if you will. And then 1 Axe Skill, never summon, right? It's a big boss monster. So that's extra deck. I'll go over my side deck real quick too. Oh, don't forget your Japanese token. Don't forget that. Very important. So here's my side deck. So double Lightning Storm. I side these in basically every time I go second. Is it worth a main deck? Maybe. I might take out the Cyclones, put in the Lightning Storms, right? Chainable back row is okay, but at the same time, I feel like board breakers are the way to go. Plus, you can stretch it through, you know, your thrust or something if you need to. So I might put these in main deck. 3 Dark Ruler. This might be too much, I feel like. We've already Forbidden Droplet in the main deck. Plus, you know, you don't do damage, which I think for Skytracker is not that great because you have to commit a lot of resources to try to break people's boards anyways. And, you know, you want to do some damage and also, like, I don't know, it's not that great, right? You'd rather get rid of the board rather than just, like, negate monster effects. Because then, if the monster effects are negated, you can't steal Woodwanker, and that's some problems. And your only ways to break the board is to do it to attack, which Skytracker struggles with, right? Unless you got linkage, but it's only 25. And also, the other out is through afterburners and stuff, right? So, it's kind of iffy. I might take these out. 3 evenly matched. Never played against back row decks, but this is why you put it in against like back row heavy decks, right? It's like that. That's why I play it. The 1 Pancratops. I would play 2, but I did not find it. You play this for just be a body and then out like back row, right? So that's skill drain. You play against Lab, I guess, or whatever, you know, big monster deck play skill drain. That's the out. And then of course 3D barrier. It's great. Basically shuts off the turn for Brandon. It's called fusion, right? You try to buy time, which unfortunately I bought so much time, but I never drew a ray. Oh well. But very good card. And then 3 Nib. Nib is also another one where I feel in games 2 and 3, your opponent probably knows you're gonna side in Nib. So if you're gonna play Nib, I feel like you probably want to play that in your main deck, at least one or something. So you can get your most value out of it, right? Because I think game 1, most people are probably blah 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 blah. Let me combo off. And then game 2 and 3, for example, my hero player, he stopped at 4, and I had Nib in hand, so I was like, oh well, that kind of sucks, right? But you play it just as like a threat to your opponent. So there you go. That's side deck. Some changes I would make. Again, probably the 3 Dark Ruler, right? Dark Ruler, that's all right. You already have Danglet in deck, so I don't think you need to play the 3 Dark Ruler. I will probably take these out and then put in maybe probably Raigeki, right? Raigeki, and maybe a Harpies, or maybe try playing this you know, Yoink package, right? Which is basically you play Change of Heart and the mind controls and snatch steal and stuff like that, right? Which I've seen online. I guess that's the way too, but then like, you know, what's the utility of stealing people's monsters to link up to other stuff, right? I don't know. That's that. Okay, so the only main deck thing I would take out overall is probably Change of Heart for a half, which I will do right now on the camera for you guys. I'll take out Change of Heart and put it in a half. The reason why I would do that is because we'll go over my locals report right now, and then we'll go on deciding real quick about what I side in and what I side out for the games and the matches, right, as I talk about them. So game 1, I played against Punk, right? Punk, Noh Punk, whatever, the combo off. Game 1, I hand trapped them with Ash, or attempt to hand trap with them Ash, right? But they built the rank 3, whatever, that's like protection. I didn't even know that card existed. That's crazy, right? Like detach to negate whatever monster effect, which is crazy. So they did that because you have to Ash the fusion, right? That will special summon 2 monsters from deck. You have to respect that. So I said Ash, you change monster, I chain Ogre, get rid of it. But then I go 2 for basically 1, you know, because he still negates the Ash. I get rid of his body, he pops off. He ends up trishing me on my turn because of the synchro quick effects and stuff, right? But luckily, I had double thrust and array, and then the other card, yeah, double thrust and array, right? And I drew into a Cyclone, right? So I Cyclone his back row, which is the imperm for the Punk, and then he trishes me, so you know, 3 cards. He hits the thrust, so I have another thrust since he, you know, trished me. I used the thrust to get in Gog. At that point in Grave, I had Cyclone, Thrust, right, activating Gauge, he tried to search for afterburners or something like that to pop his other back row, which was like the special summon from deck or whatever. I do that. Now I have 4 spells engraved, right? Go red ray, add back engage, engage into. I thought about like, oh, maybe I should do like Widow Anchor or something like that, right? To steal his Trish. But at the same time, since he paid up so much life points, he was down to about 46 ish, right? So I could steal, and then at that point it still wouldn't be enough for game, basically. So I thought, okay, either I steal or try to do another like afterburners, try to pop his Trish and then pop another back row, so at least like his continuous spell or something, or for the gold pride, or like the field spell. So I said, alright, I'm probably not gonna kill you, so there's no reason for me to just blind little anchor, steal, and then do what, right? I decided to go for afterburners, and the second one for value, pop his Trish, pop his continuous spell, or the field spell. I think it was field spell, I don't remember. One of those two, right? And then I drew into Linkage, which is pretty good, but at the same time, right? If I did the Linkage play, he would have 100 life points exactly. So I'm like, alright, I still can't kill him. And then remember, this is Punk. And then I basically passed turn to him. He had 26. I have a red ray. No, not a red ray, a blue ray. And then basically a Linkage set. Basically it, right? So he goes to his turn. Summon second M Punisher. GG. Well, that's why now main deck it's gonna be Hampa in there, right? Just in case. That's really dumb. I hate that card so much. Second game, kind of similar situation. Built his board, blah blah blah, right? I break it, but then he's down to basically like 700 life points, and I managed to survive his second end Punisher play because I already set up my graveyard with so many spells and Rosie O'Donnell, where I Linkage this to about 38, and his was at 10,000, right? So I still have like 200 life points or something like that, right? Barely alive, barely alive. So all I need to do is poke with Green Ray for game, but he had imperm, so oh well, that sucks. Yeah, right. So what did I side in for Punk? I sided in. I sided in. Sided in. So I sided in Lightning Storm. Or no, all I sided in I think was Nibiru. That's all I really sided in because I comboed off so much, right? So I sided in 3 Nibiru. And what you would side out in general is cards that are not necessarily engine cards, right? So you side out stuff like Rhoda, right? I sided out 1 Cyclone, and I sided out the. Oh no, well, I didn't side out Cyclone. Sided out the Ogres, right? Because Ogres, that wasn't that great. So there you go. That's why I sided in. 3 this, 3 that. These 3 out. And then for a game, that was it, right? Because he beat me. So that's the first game. Game 2, I played against Branded Despia. He was kind of a new player. Game 1, I Linkage OTK him. Game 2, he built a board, and I tried Forbidden Droplet, but I don't have enough resources or gas to try to beat over his monsters. Again, another kind of problem. And even if I had Lightning Storm, I feel wouldn't matter because he put everything in defense mode, so that sucks. Maybe stay on Lightning Storm, play Regeki, but at the same time, I like the option, right? You never know. Then game 3, I drew double Ash, double Barrier, and an Imperm. So try to buy time, but eventually I don't draw Ray and I lose, so that sucks. He keeps poking me with like a Luber. Right, so that sucks. Game 3, I play against a hero player. Game 1, he pops off. He has Dark Claw, right? He has DPE set. He has or DPE. He had Ash against me against my Ngag. So that sucks, right? Nothing you can really do. Game 2, we managed to go into a grind game where I break his board through the Azalea and all that stuff, right? By stealing his monsters and stuff like that, and eventually he all out attacks me, right? So I'm basically screwed. but it's not enough for game, and I'm down to 700 life points. But then I top deck into a lightning storm that I sided in. The lightning storm, all his attack position monsters, and then engaged into Ray, Linkage, OTK play. Right, so there you go. Game 3 through time, I break his board. He double Dark Laws me, right? So he has mass change. Set. He already has a Dark Law. So first thing I do is Danklet his Dark or no, Afterburn is his first Dark Law, and then to just Shadow Mist on field somehow. He changed mass change to Shadow Mist, make another Dark Law, and then I Widow Anchor his second Dark Law. So just sitting there, break his board, blah blah blah, right? And that was basically it. So that was my locals report. What did I side in for the Despia? Again, 3 this. Right? That's basically all you really need against branded, right? Or any kind of singular archetype kind of deck. And then I sided out the you know, the usual. So like the Rhoda, right? So these are the cards I always side out. The Rhoda. Where's the Rhoda? So side out the Rhoda, right? And then side out the Ghost Ogres or something like that, right? Or whatever irrelevant hand trap's not that great in the matchup. So here you go. So that, what I sided out. And then for heroes, kind of same thing, right? This, right? And then these cards. So yeah, sided at those. What is this, like almost 6 cards, 7 cards, right? So side out. Like Cyclone's kind of useless, right? Oh, I was playing Change of Heart, so you know, Change of Heart, double Cyclone, and then I took out a Desires. There you go. So that should be 7. There you go. All right. So hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of long, kind of a little bit feels a little bit rambly, but that was my locals report. I went 1 and 2, which honestly is kind of surprising. I feel like with just some different, you know, sometimes you just don't draw right, and that sucks. Otherwise, I feel like I didn't really misplay any super big things, and just looking back on it. Again, the only thing that I would change in main deck overall is just the, you know, putting in a Hamp in main deck, right? So you can always search the out for a second and Punisher or something like that. Oh well, that's unfortunate. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. Thank you all channel members. You're around. Bye.
This is my outro song for free YouTube monies. Give me some likes and support me, please.